So, one of my friends that I grew up with, I found out the other day, passed away in a car crash. And I read through how she passed away, and it made me so sad because I know if I was in that car that she would still be alive. And because of that, I want to tell you what you can do to stay alive if you have a runaway vehicle.
I know sometimes you get frustrated, but you can't let the devil win. It's all cause of him. I lost a couple of my friends, but Yahweh made me a better man. Spitting bars for the kingdom, man. I can do it through Philippians. I can do all things through Christ. That's the reason that I'ma win. Yeah.
Hey man, say man, what it do, man? Welcome to TikTok Tuesday, man. I'm your host, JustNatebtw, by the way, man. I'm sorry for the wait, man. I took a little break, man, to clear my mind, man, and get my thoughts together, man. But in today's video, man, we will be touching on the topic, runaway cars, man. If you don't know what a runaway car, man, is when your car is basically idling and it's like you can't stop it. And what basically we'll be learning what you should do in this situation, man, because it is a dangerous situation. People has lost their life, man. But before we dive in, get whatever you need for this video, and we're gonna sit back, relax, and let's react.
So, one of my friends that I grew up with, I found out the other day, passed away in a car crash. And I read through how she passed away, and it made me so sad because I know if I was in that car that she would still be alive. And because of that, I want to tell you what you can do to stay alive if you have a runaway vehicle. If your accelerator on your car sticks and you got a sticky gas pedal, don't try and steer. Your engine is running away. Your engine is stuck accelerating for some reason. Your transmission is not. If you have a runaway car, to save your life, grab your shifter and put your shifter into neutral. Your transmission will be in neutral. No torque from the engine will go into your transmission. Your engine will just be up there revving along, doing its own thing, and it will not be driving your wheels. Your vehicle will begin to slow down. You can push your brakes, and you can pull over and shut the car off. Please do not try to drive out in a runaway accelerating vehicle. You will die. Her death is very tragic, and I just wanted to put this out there that maybe, hopefully, someone will see this and will learn, how to save their life. All it takes, 2 seconds. Grab that shifter, put it in neutral. That's it. Neutral. It's no longer driving. The car will begin to slow down. Slam on that emergency brake, slam on your brakes after you've done that, and you will be okay.
I just saw a video of a man talking about how his friend passed away in a car accident because of a runaway vehicle, and I never knew what that was. But when I was I think I was 18, I was on the freeway. I was on the 15 freeway. If you're from California, I was on the 15 freeway going north, and I was right before where you reach the 60, and I was coming into traffic. I could see traffic ahead of me. I could see brake lights, and I was trying to brake, and my car wasn't stopping. I was braking, and my car was not stopping. And I just like, honestly, I remember panicking, but I didn't want to hit the car in front of me, so I just swerved. Like, I just swerved my wheel, and I hit.
A lot of people do that to try to avoid accidents, but it's like, man, don't hurt yourself to try to avoid an accident, because either way, you're going to get into an accident. So, shit, if you got to hit somebody, oh well.
Really hard into like um the divider, like the middle divider, and like going probably like not even half a mile up, like not even a fourth of a mile up, like probably like if I would have drove, my car would have still been going for like a couple more seconds. There's no divider right there. Like I would have went straight off of the highway. And it's just like amazing, like how God really, like, when it's not your time, it's not your time. Like, I never knew what a runaway vehicle was until right now, and now I like that's what was happening to me. Like my car was a runaway vehicle, whatever it's called, and people die. Like, and I didn't. Like I literally, like, it's just like God.
Yeah, man, that's a blessing, man. Glory to God, man. She shocked herself, man. That's how God get some people sometimes, man. He have you wake up in life or death situations, man. But man, thank God, man, that she didn't lose her life. But as you can see, man, this runaway car thing is like a major problem, man. And a lot of people don't even know what it is, because I definitely didn't know the term until today. That's why I'm reacting to it, to honestly spread awareness to it, so people can be more aware of it and be cautious of it, and also so y'all can be alert and safe.
Sometimes you just sit and just realize how amazing God really is. Like He spared me, He saved me so many times. Like so many times He has saved me. Like all the car accidents I've been in, they are traumatizing, but I'm still here. Like I'm still here. Yeah. I just, but what the guy did say though about the in the video is if you have a runaway vehicle, put the car in neutral, and that should help the situation. If I would have known that at the time, and y'all, I think I was even trying to pull my emergency brake, but my car was kind of old, so it was one of them emergency brakes where you gotta use two hands. So it's like I couldn't pull it with one, and I
She
just
said you gotta use two hands.
it's I don't know. I do know. I'm very thankful to be alive. But yeah.
Hey Brian, what's a driving tip that could save your life?
So I saw this TikTok, and I don't know if you got it or not, so I just want to be a messenger here. So it's not my driving tip, but somebody said that he has a friend who passed away in a crash because when she put her gas pedal down, it got stuck. And so it was a runaway car, and she tried to steer out of it to be able to save her life. Here's the thing, is if your gas pedal gets stuck and you can't, you absolutely do not try to steer. Put your gear shifter into neutral. If you put it into neutral, you won't get power to the engine. Then you can hit on the brakes and you can stop your car. Don't try to steer out of it, move to neutral.
Y'all heard him. Move to neutral.
For a lot of people, the worst thing that can happen to their vehicle is they turn the key and it doesn't start. But believe it or not, that's not nearly as bad as when you turn the key and it doesn't stop. It's a condition called runaway, and it is slightly horrifying. Now I was asked to explain what diesel runaway is. Runaway is exactly what it sounds like. You want your motor to not go, but it doesn't give a shit what you want, and it continues to go faster and faster and faster until you find a way to force it to stop going, or it goes all Chernobyl. It's quite spectacular. If it goes long enough, there's usually fire involved, loud noises, a big explosion at some point. It's exciting, but what causes it is not so straightforward. Now, the reason this is most commonly associated with turbo diesels is because diesels don't require an electrical ignition source like a spark plug and a gasoline motor. They use compression ignition, so the pistons, when they're on their compression stroke, compress the air, it makes it really hot, and that's enough to ignite the fuel. It's cool because older diesels didn't need any electrical components to run at all. But then to turn them off, you can't just turn a key and shut off the electrical ignition source like you can on a gasoline motor. You gotta choke them a little bit. They're tough, they can take it. You either need to shut off the air supply supply so it can't breathe, or you need to shut off the fuel supply so it has no fuel. The majority of diesels work by just shutting off that fuel supply. But the other problem is diesels are oil burners. Diesel fuel is just a low viscosity oil. And you may have heard about people fueling their old diesels with waste motor oil or even used fryer grease. In fact, in 1893, Rudolph Diesel ran his new motor on peanut oil, which is awesome to have a motor that can run on oil until you shut it off and it decides it wants to run on its own oil. And the most common way that this happens is the introduction of oil into the engine's intake through the turbocharger. Turbos need oil because they move, so they have seals that keep that oil in until they don't anymore. So then it starts just feeding itself its own motor oil at will, and you've lost all control. And then eventually it eats all of its own oil, and your pistons become part of the space program. But it does not always happen on a turbo diesel. It can happen on a naturally aspirated engine as well. Naturally aspirated just means that the cylinders are doing all the work to pull the air into the motor, where a turbo uses wasted energy from the exhaust gases to shove more air into the motor so you can burn more fuel and get more power, baby. But as any motor wears out, you get a thing called blow-by because you can't perfectly seal everything in the motor. And all blow-by is vaporized motor oil that's under pressure that is getting pushed out of the crankcase of the motor. If enough of that blow-by gets pushed past the rings and the cylinders inside the motor, or gets pushed into the intake, or on the old supercharged two-stroke diesels, if it gets introduced into the supercharger system, there's lots of other ways that runaway can happen. Although on those old two-stroke Detroit diesels, it was hard to tell when they were ever running away because they always sounded like they're running away. I call them things screaming memes for a good goddamn reason. Anyway, getting off topic. Gas motors have lower compression, so they don't ignite oil under their own pressure usually, and they rely on spark for ignition, and you can really easily just turn that off, and then there's nothing to ignite the fuel or the oil to get it to run away. But if you get a gas motor hot enough, it doesn't need spark plugs anymore, and as long as it has fuel, it will continue to run. On modern cars, it isn't as much of a problem because they've got electronic fuel injectors and you can just shut the fuel off. But on older carbureted cars or mechanically injected cars, get that motor hot enough and it will continue to diesel away. On the bright side, when this does happen, it's usually not the big, exciting, high revolution catastrophe. They usually just kind of putter along annoyingly until you can get them to shut down. So what do you do in this situation when a motor's running and you don't want it to be running anymore? Well, an engine needs fuel and air to run. And if you've already shut off the fuel and it continues to run, this is one of the few times you don't need to ask for permission. You can just choke it. Rag over the intake usually works the best, really snuff it out. I heard a fire extinguisher in the throat will do it too. Not sure I recommend that one, especially since you may need that fire extinguisher if that endeavor is not successful. But yeah, just any way you can cut the air off, that's really the only way to do it. In fact, on a lot of older diesels, a lot of people install just a mechanical air choke, which is a good idea because then all you have to do is pull a lever and a butterfly valve closes and shuts off that air supply. So there you have it. That's all it is. Now you can remember the next time when your car won't start, it could be worse. It could not stop, and that's a lot less fun. Unless, of course, you're a spectator with no financial investment in the situation. Then it can be pretty entertaining.
Share this message to help save somebody's life. If your accelerator on your car just sticks, it keeps going, you have a runaway vehicle, the way to get it to stop, because I know that brake is not working, but the way to get it to stop is going to be by putting your car in neutral. When you put your car in neutral, it will no longer be able to have the drive to go, and you will be able to actually brake and use the e-brake, and you'll be able to come to a stop. Save somebody's life by sharing this.
Like the video, guys, so you...
I did not know that you
can
use this to stop your vehicle if it's running away or your brakes went out or some bad situation happened. This parking assist did not know that you can use it to stop your car from rolling. Let me demonstrate. Pull up on the lever. Your vehicle stops. I'm not using the brakes. Small safety tip. You're welcome.
What's the safest way to stop a car with a stuck gas pedal? Today I'm going to show you. I'm going to hold the accelerator on the car to the floor to simulate a stuck throttle. Oh no, the throttle's stuck. Now your first inclination might be to turn the key off, but don't do that. Your engine will die, you'll lose power steering, and you'll lose power brakes. Instead, push the shifter into neutral. Now the engine is going to freely redline, but whatever damage that might cause your engine is way less important than you getting the car safely stopped and pulled over. Now I'm going to use my foot to hit the brakes, engine screaming, but we aren't going any faster because the transmission is in neutral. Now you can pull over, and now that you're pulled over safely, you can shut the engine off and put the car in park and figure out why your throttle's stuck.
Do a video on a runaway engine and how to stop it. Well, I don't have any runaway engines here, so I'll explain it. So an engine runaway is when the engine draws fuel from an unintended source and speeds up at higher and higher RPMs until your engine becomes toast. Your unintended fuel source is going to be something like your turbocharger. You have seals that are holding the oil, keeping them in, and if the oil gets through, then it could go through your intake and cause a runaway. Another cause of runaway diesel engines could also be a bad injector. If it's spraying too much fuel, that's also another way to have a runaway engine. Basically, anytime that you get an uncontrollable source of fuel going into your intake, chances are it's gonna run away. Anyways, well, I hope I explained that in such a way that you can understand. Austin, tell the people to have the best day ever.
Have a great day, best day ever.
Have an awesome day.
This video is unbelievable. Have you seen it? It's gone viral, and for good reasons. There's a car that's traveling diagonally through a busy intersection in Florida. This was actually captured on a traffic camera at this Florida intersection. A woman starts crossing the street to help the woman who's driving the car. Apparently she was a co-worker, according to the Washington Post. As this car is sort of still going through the intersection, the co-worker who came out to help, she's trying to flag other people down, trying to get other help. She's also trying to slow down the car. The good thing is we start seeing other people starting to aid, starting to come to their rescue as well. And by the way, I have to say, for that woman who stuck her neck out and ran to sort of help in the middle of the intersection, she could have been too afraid or worried or embarrassed to do that or unsure, but
Crazy.
Need help. My brakes won't stop. My car won't stop. My brakes aren't working.
Sheriff's deputies in southern Illinois responded to this 911 call from the driver of a runaway vehicle that was traveling about 30 miles per hour.
I'm scared.
Turn right at the next road, okay?
I can't stop.
If you don't turn, you're going to go into a lake. We need you to turn, okay?
Not the lake.
Can I just go into the ditch? I don't care at this point.
The driver, who was pregnant, said her brakes had stopped working and the car wouldn't slow down.
I'm 20 weeks pregnant. I cannot die today.
Deputies caught up to the vehicle, then executed a maneuver known as a rolling roadblock.
If it's going to be where she's going to run off the end of the road, we're going to have to do something.
One deputy pulled in front of the runaway car before slowing down to bring both vehicles to a stop.
I'm going to hit the cop. I'm going to hit him.
Dang, she hit the police.
No, they know. Hey, man, it's okay. They know.
About 1,300 feet from a local lake and with minimal damage to her car. Sheriff Jeff Dietrich said the runaway car likely would have ended up in the water if his deputies hadn't.
Yo, they dangerous, man.
Part of this comment because I feel the same way about the video that it comes from. I'm sorry that the guy's friend lost their life, but I do appreciate him for the advice, which I could have used because I have experience with a car that had a runaway engine. And a runaway engine is when your car has a sticky gas pedal, so you press the gas, and then when you let off, the car is still accelerating. So please go watch that video for the advice that he's given. But my experience with this, the mother of my oldest child was looking to buy a car. So she went to a, run-of-the-mill place. It wasn't a dealership, but it had cars that they were selling outside. They had like 3 or something like that.
Right.
It was an SUV. And she called me down. She was like, hey, what are you doing? I'm thinking about buying this car. And she has another child. And she was like, yo, I got a baby with me. I need you to come and, test drive it for me, whatever, check it out, see if it's a good deal, whatever. So I was like, cool. I'm not doing nothing right now. No problem doing that. I came to the place, and they were like, hey, yeah, here go the keys. You can test drive it. And it was at a spot that, you know how the grocery stores have a huge parking lot? It was like at the edge of the parking lot, and the grocery store was on the other end of the parking lot. So imagine we're at the top of the parking lot, and then it's all the parking spaces behind us, and then a grocery store. It was a Little Giant grocery store. So okay. I take the car for a test drive. I come from the top of the place that we were at, and I'm going down towards the Little Giant. So I'm going down a parking lot, going down the lane. And as I just tap the gas, I'm in a parking lot, I'm not going that fast. The car just speeds up. I'm like, what the? So I'm trying to put my foot under the gas to lift it back up. I'm like, I've never experienced this before. I'm pressing the brake, but the car is like, it's revving up. Like, it's not just going a steady pace. Like, it feels like I've smashed the gas.
Right.
I'm going towards a grocery store. Like, people could be walking, children could be out there. Like, I'm going, it's just revving up,
Crazy.
going from 10, 15 miles an hour to like, if I didn't look at the speedometer, but it felt like I was going 40 down a parking lot lane. Like, it was just going. So by the grace of God, they had pillars in front of the grocery store, and I wasn't going dead for the center of the store. I was like to the side, so I wasn't going towards the door, but the lane that I was in, it was like to the left of the grocery store. But when I got to I crossed over the street that's in front of the store, they had pillars, and they also had you have soil bags stacked up in front of the store. Thank God they had that, but I turned sharp, bust through a brick pillar, and then ran into another one with the soil bags were, and I was like, what in God's name just happened? Of course, the mother of my child sees that. She comes running. The person who gave me the keys, they all come running like, what happened? Like, they're like, we just let you test drive the car. What you do? And I told them, I was like, the gas got stuck. I was like, you can still look at it. Like, and they was like, oh my God. And I was like, bro, I'm so glad you called me because you had the baby. Like, not saying you put a baby in a test drive a car, but she didn't have nobody to watch the baby while she test drove a car. But I'm just like, I'm glad it was me. I was not hurt. It wasn't a scratch on me. And I still think about that because that was like 4 years ago or something. I didn't sue. I didn't do nothing. I don't even know what I could have done, but I always think a blessing gonna come my way because I didn't go through any insurance. I didn't do nothing. I just walked away and was thankful that I had my life. Thankful that the mother of my child and her child were okay. Thankful that I didn't hit anybody. Like, I'm just thankful that everybody walked away. Like, that's what I'm thankful for. But seeing that video reminded me of that time, and I wish I would have had that information when that happened, and I would have known I would have prevented running through two pillars in the grocery store and potentially, something drastic happening.
Crazy, man. As y'all can see, man, runaway cars is not a joke, man. It's not a joke, man. That's why I don't trust them electric cars, them electric vehicles, or none of that, man. But like the video so YouTube can push this out, man, and people can know about this, man. See y'all in the next one, man. God bless. Enjoy y'all Tuesday, man. Stay safe out here. We out.
And I know sometimes you get frustrated, but you can't let the devil win. It's all cause of him. I lost a couple